What's going on, true believer? James Nguyen here with the Alpha Red Comic Channel. It is 8 p.m. on a Sunday night, Memorial Day weekend. Happy Memorial Day to you guys out there. Let me turn on the old music, so you don't have to listen to me just without the music. What's going on, phone? Sorry, I missed the draw stream yesterday. I was at a local anime. You and the anime with the what was the thing that began with an O? The group of anime fanatics. So yeah, no worries. The only thing you missed out on was Benny asking me to do another Battle Beast and claiming it before I even started. So that's why we're doing Battle Beast. Benny was speaking in my ear. What's going on, Reverend Saber? Evening all. Mr. Ernest is in the house. What's going on, guys? I'm glad you're here. I am just so thankful that you guys join me every Sunday evening. Let me share the screen while we got, because if we're not sharing the screen, then I'm not doing my job. So here it is. Battle Beast. If you guys missed it, this is what Fong was talking about. I was on yesterday doing Sketch Card Saturday. I had a little bit of time before I was off to a wedding, and I sat down and inked some of these free sketch cards that I'm going to be sending along with the rewards for the first 10 people. So I did some pencil sketches. If you caught the live stream yesterday, talked about when I did this. Did these pencil sketches during phone calls as I do my insurance sales stuff. But just a quick plug for Alpha Red number 7. I know you guys who are here are backing already, but just in case somebody finds this later, they can check out these cool rewards that they can get. This is the Virgin cover for the art only. This is the homage cover, an homage of Incredible Hulk 181. Somebody did pick up a sketch cover. Let's take a sip of water. I don't know what happened there. All right. We back. There's going to be, ink only stuff, pencil only, and it is going to be a flip book. So one side's going to be this, next side's going to be this. So that's one of the rewards, and this would be the Virgin flip cover, pencils and inks, exclusive to the campaign only. And at some point, I'm gonna make this available, just like the Alpha Pit that Fong got for being first. We'll see if we hit we're nowhere near 50, but if we can hit 50, that is maybe when we give that away to the 50th person. We're just going to jump right in because I don't want to miss out on finishing him, and I don't want to go too late, even though we all have off tomorrow. And we have been invited to a parade that starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. You guys have parades that start that early? I'm looking for this thing. So this is what I use for straight lines to cover up some of this stuff. So he's going to be holding his sword. I'm going to take this white out, and it is a little finicky. So I'm going to take wherever the sword is going to be, lay it out, because I've already got the fist here. I don't know if you guys have seen the fist, but we're going to go right across so that hopefully people can still see the word battle and the word beast. So yeah, Fong, the only thing you missed was an opportunity to pick up this here sketch, because I have two. See what I mean when I say it's finicky. When I say I have, when I went to the local comic store on Saturday, right before I got on, they didn't have anything for me. We were supposed to be, I was looking for GI Joe #8 because I saw somebody doing a review on it. So I was like, all right, don't listen to the review. Just go to the store, pick it up, so you don't mess up so you don't get it all messed up. So I went. They said no, we didn't get it this week. We'll get it next week. So, and they still have a bunch of these sketch covers for Battle Beast on the wall. They went big. My local comic shop went big on Battle Beast, and they said people are loving it. So based on their experience with it, I'm just gonna make like Battle Beast is the next Invincible. You know what I'm saying? So this is how you block out all that title stuff. And I was trying to get to this beforehand, but my kids and my wife were in here chatting it up, and I got distracted. Got distracted. Oh no. There we go. See, it gets a little funky. The longer I do it, the more funky it gets. So we're gonna, yeah. Sometimes I'm too nice about it. All right, that'll be the size of the sword, and then I'll fix his hand to go up and cover some of that, because his sword really is just about that big, and we don't want to go too crazy with it. Let me see, where did I put the cap for it? I don't know. But so I did not get anything. I got this sketch cover, and they're doing the Summer of Superman. So there was a brand new Superman #1, Superman Unlimited. It's kind of like a retelling, like highlights of Superman. And so I'm probably gonna draw this tomorrow sometime. So if anyone wants to claim that, you can let me know. $30, and I will jump on sometime tomorrow, and I'll be doing that. And you can choose whether it's the David Cornsweet version, or if you want a more classic Superman. If you claim it, $30. Let me know, and then you can. I'll ask you to PayPal over to JamesQArtist@gmail. That's where you would PayPal if anybody's interested in a Superman that I will draw tomorrow. Robin Saber says, do I see the Man of Steel there? Yes, indeed. So this I'm retooling to be a David Cornsweet sketch cover. So the new 52 Superman design is what I feel like they kind of use for the movie, with the lines and the collar, and so I had a Superman sketch that nobody bought. So I used some of these markers that my daughter was introducing me to, these Poscas or whatever, and they do a good job of going over top of the lines. And so I was able to update the S and give him some trunks, and then I will put it up, unless somebody wants to claim it for $30. On the back here, you get a Batman too. It was the new 52 Batman. So for $30, Action Comics, you guys can fight over that. So just let me know. And we can go for it. And I'll finish up the line work and stuff. I was adding the trunks. I'll add the lines. I'll add some more inking to that to make that the David Cornsweet suit from the new movie. So I am glad that you guys are here. then you guys have an extra day. Is anybody working tomorrow? Does anybody have to go to work? I assume somebody has to work tomorrow, because not all of us have lucked out and have jobs that don't require us to go in on a Monday holiday. Benny says, I'm hanging in with the in-laws tonight, so I'll have to check in later. It looks good so far. I'm glad. Thank you for showing up yesterday, Benny, and requesting this. And have fun with the in-laws. Check in later. Reverend Save said, I bought a blind bag from Battle Beast and got issue number 2. That's what I heard. I was trying to ask Benny if he was able to stop down at his local comic shop and if he got a blind bag, or if issue number 2 was even out on the stands this week. I thought I saw that it was coming out like relatively soon, because Battle Beast came out last week, not this past week, but the week previous. And then I had heard that some people got Battle Beast number 2 in their blind bag. And so I looked up when, I think maybe even says in here. Hang on, I'm going to flip to that back here. It says number 2 on sale May 21st. So maybe it's out currently. So I probably just missed it because I assumed it was a variant cover, because I saw this on the wall still. So obviously I would think that they would want Battle Beast number 1 still on the wall because it's relatively new. Cover up that came out pretty good. I became British for a second there. Pretty good. Talking like those like Critical Drinker or Mauler. I thought they were the same guy. I don't know if you guys watch Critical Drinker. Mauler is on Nerdrotic's channel a lot. So I assumed that was Critical Drinker also. I gotta adjust where the hand is because I started too high on where the sword is. So the sword's going up, so his arms gotta go up. So much for me doing stuff early. So I do want it to come down a little bit. Reverend Saber says issue number 2 was moved to June 18th. That's a good move for them. Good move to kind of make sure that people who got number 2 in the blind bag feel like they got something special. So that's a good move. Good on them. So I reread it. Still fun. Still a fun read. So I hope you guys dig it. I don't know. What'd you think, Rod? What'd you think of THOKK? Long live THOKK. Just reminded me of Conan. He was like Conan in space with a lion head. And because he's just slaying aliens, I didn't mind the gratuitous violence. I don't think I would typically enjoy it if it were like the first page. The first page, I assume, was like his first appearance in Invincible way back when. I think he's a character that they introduced in Invincible a couple years ago, and then he came back for one episode or one issue, and they introduced him in the cartoon, and people were going nuts for him, so they are giving him his own series. And so they started off, I assume, with the page where he appeared and just beat the snot out of everybody in Invincible. And then he steps back into a spaceship and talks about how disappointed he is because nobody is worthy of his all his skill, his fighting skill. Just trash talking the whole time. So very, very cool. Very, very cool. Have you guys started grilling yet? Are you grilling for Memorial Day? We've been grilling already. We've had a couple of spells of nice days. And so we went ahead and fired up the grill a couple of times already this year. But it caught on fire a couple of times. So before I got too far today, went ahead and cleaned it out a little bit so that the grease has nothing to latch onto. And a lot less unplanned flames. I've been trying to teach my daughter how to grill too. She asked to learn how to grill. She just moved home and felt like it was a skill that she wants to learn. So I'm passing down the grilling expertise. You guys like to grill? Fong says, when I hear Battle Beast, I think of the 80s toys. Was there Battle Beast? Was that the ones they had vehicles? They did they have like what you call it, heads? Like these animal heads? Do they have animal heads like this? That's one of the cool factors of what I like, the look of them. I don't know. I do like the animal head type guys. The animal heads. We're going to do that as part of the mask thing. You know, the mask looks like it kind of goes right towards his head there. Do a little artistic license there. Maybe I'll change that before we ink it, but when it comes at you like that, I feel like it ought to split out a little bit. Battle Beast. Anybody say anything about that? Fong likes to grill. It's it feels manly. Lots of flames. They had rub signs with different symbols: fire, water, and yeah. They were like really small, weren't they? Really, really small. They had I want to say there was a cartoon for a second. But I do remember the wood and the fire. What was the last one? Water. That's it. I do remember that. I would have never remembered that. But Fong with the 80s recall. Brilliant. Yeah, I didn't go with any animal heads. I guess maybe I did. I went goat heads with the demons in my comic. With Alpha Red, everybody's like goat headed. That's the evil demonic animal that I use. I don't know. Is that biblical? Like goats being demonic, bad, evil. Sheep are good, goats are bad. Is there some theology? Anybody want to educate us on goats and sheep? Because I do like the lion heads, like Telos. Who was that? Ringo. Mike Waringo did Telos. And I thought that was just the coolest thing. I wasn't huge on his cartoony style, but I bought it anyway. I bought it for the tiger-headed guy, because the little human that he had hanging out with him all the time was just too. I didn't connect with the little human guy. A little too young for me. But as far as the Tony the Tiger guy in Telos, he was cool. I always wish that the swords were bigger in Telos. Like that's when Battle Chasers was big, if I'm remembering correctly. And Battle Chasers is what introduced me to a lot of like the anime flavor of fantasy. I'm going to peek in here a lot. I'm going to try to do a little better this week than I did last week with the super futuristic samurai chainmail shield chest plate thing. Looks pretty awesome, but I'm not used to seeing it yet. Bam, bam, bam. Kabamski, kabamski. Fung, do you remember what the premise was to Battle Beast? And am I remembering it right? They were like teeny tiny. Like they moved like, they were as small as like the Halo guys, but they were nowhere near as articulate as the Halo toys. The Halo toys were kind of fire. I don't know. My kids played with it. And of course, I always am thinking about Alpha Red and, you know, how could I turn that into Alpha Red? Would they make custom versions? Am I looking at this right? Yep. So I think I'm gonna just go like this for initially, just to get it, and then understand that this is all black right here, and then this comes down another layer, but this is all black here. Getting better, getting better. So if anybody wants a Battle Beast, if you want me to keep doing Battle Beast, they've got a couple of these sketch covers. If you want to order some Battle Beast, it all goes to the war chest, guys. All goes to the Alpha Red war chest. But Ernest is the only one who snuck in there and got the drawing on the back. He got the bonus. Yeah. Kabamski. I think this is all black here. Blacky, blacky, blackity, black. And I don't know if I'll color it all in black, but for right now I need that little shorthand. Anybody else want a Battle Beast? We won't do another draw stream on it. Not for a Sunday night anyway. This will be it for Battle Beast until maybe Battle Beast number 2, or if something really cool happens and they're still talking about Battle Beast and cover for issue number 2 or something, I'd be into that. But I think for a Sunday night, no more Battle Beast. No more Battle Beast. Am I doing that right? Got that coming down. Bam, 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 bam. So I appreciate you guys backing Alpha Red number 7. It is not going as well as I had hoped. And I assume maybe that it has something to do with the switch in the platform. And so I'm going to go over to the other platform and make the case for them setting up an account over here on Fund My Comic. It just, they give you more of the money. So if you're there to support the creator, the creator gets more of that money so that they can create the comic. And they get it right away. Like all the money that you guys have sent in, they have sent to me already, because I have it set to raise mode, which means I'm just going to keep it all, and I am going to promise that it's going to be made, and it is absolutely going to be made. JC Grande has all the pages. He's been turning in some killer inks. Killer inks, and trying to get the colorist to be a little bit more responsive. It's like cattle prodding with with the colors, but those also have been looking fantastic. So pretty cool. I like this. Like how it's turning out here. So I was looking up. So it reminds, like this character THOKK, Battle Beast, reminds me of Conan. So to come up with poses and whatnot, I look up Conan images, and all I see are, and they're obviously Conan images, but I'm just reminded of He-Man images. So I guess He-Man is just really a knockoff of Conan. All the poses, like this, was a pose from a Conan image, but all I could see, because his arm was straighter, like I ran out of room. Like I want to show him, the main character, but like the arm was actually much higher, but I wanted him bigger, so I bent his arm. But all I could see was He-Man, because the sword was up. It wasn't straight up like He-Man does it, but it was very He-Man-esque. And I was like, duh. Guess I never thought of it as a kid. I wasn't familiar with Conan as a kid, even though I think I saw the Conan, Arnold Schwarzenegger Conans. I mean, I for sure remember seeing them. I'm sure I saw them at home on VHS, but never dawned on me that He-Man was influenced by Conan. It's my childlike brain just assumed that He-Man was created in a vacuum by super imaginative people. Not so. Unless you guys tell me that it was. I was watching something on Netflix about He-Man, and there's infighting as to who actually created it. It's obviously made for toys. You know, it's a big toy commercial. But see if I missed anything. Nope. All right. But as far as the characters, the story, and all that, I guess there's some fighting as to how much the writers had to do with the creation of the characters and whatnot. But clearly the artists at least, were Conan fans. Duh. I draw good, but I'm not the smartest. I draw good. And then when you're older, you just don't think about it. It always existed. So what else is going on? What else is are you guys excited about? You guys watching Rob Liefeld on his YouTube? Have you transitioned over from podcast to YouTube with more observations? I think he needs to have an editor to add the visuals that he holds up to the camera. So he says that he started doing it because it was something that the fans demanded. And I would have been one of them if I ever wrote to him. That would have been a suggestion, because I'm not familiar with all the comics that he talks about. And I would love to see the images and see what he gets excited about. And so he's on YouTube, and it's just him in front of the camera pretty much doing the podcast. And he holds up his copies of the comics that he's talking about and the articles that he's reading, which is, that's cool. He's got the receipts, he's talking about things that were happening. He's like a comic historian, partly the way that he shares experiences with us. And he's pulling from old Wizard magazines and things like that. But he just holds them up to the camera. And he's a really energetic guy. He comes off in his podcast. And that's how, that's people get jazzed about his passion for comics. I know I do. I'm guilty. I'm more a Rob Liefeld fan currently than I was back in the 90s, if we're being honest. I was more of a Jim Lee guy, and that's why I'm all over Hush 2. I think it's just as good as Hush 1, and it has echoes of Hush 1, and that's good enough for me. I don't need it to be Jim Lee groundbreaking. I don't need Jeff Loeb to break new ground, as long as it's a good story, good enough story. Jim Lee's art can carry it. I felt like it carried the first one anyway. I'm not a huge fan of bait and switch kind of mysteries. And for him to figure out that it was the Riddler in the beginning, and then it wasn't. It was Tommy Elliott. And then it was the Riddler. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Pretty pictures. Jim Lee draw good. All right, guys, what do you think? Almost ready for the inks. What do you think? Should I do? I feel like if I make these all black like they do in here, it kind of takes away from it. So maybe I'll just kind of hint. I'll just kind of make like that. I don't know how a colorist would color it, but we'll figure out how I'm going to ink it also. That will determine a lot of things. So should I go to the parade tomorrow? Should I go? My wife's going. And it's kind of the same old, but it's with a former church, and things didn't end well, but there's forgiveness, there's whatever. We were invited again, so we should mend some fences, right? We're all believers. So, all right, what do you guys think? All right, let's take a snappy photo. Snappy photo just to make it, just to document that version of it, because it's going to transform. Any thoughts on the future of distribution? We have a couple of players knocking on Starcross Comics' door as far as trying to get us into a catalog. And it just so happens that Alpha Red is one of the only ones that is kind of qualified to be listed, just because they want something that has 5 or more issues, and that it can come out on a regular basis. And I'm willing to invest in higher quantities of the printing if orders are there, where some of the guys have more issues available, but they don't have the money, or they don't feel like they want to invest their personal money into like many copies of the comic. So it would be neat to have Alpha Red available everywhere. I did invest in a bunch of copies of issue number 1 and number 6, and that's kind of the idea going forward, is to have multiple, like a high number of comics available. That's part of the fundraising, because then the comics themselves become the fundraiser. Looking for, what am I thinking here? Number 5? Number 5? All right. So I don't know what the future holds for distribution. If it's direct market, I mean, a lot of you are willing to pay a little bit extra for shipping. But I mean, the people who seem to get their money are the printers and the people shipping it. The creators are the ones who are left holding the bag. And it really, I mean, I was listening to Rob Liefeld, and he said, he did not get into the comics industry to make money. He just loved comics, and he wanted to be a part of it. And so he was just lucky to get in at a time where they had the, what do you call it? The kickbacks, you get a certain amount per comic, residuals. And he made out like a bandit. But then they changed the distribution model, went to direct market, and then lost that audience. Lost all those hundreds of thousands of customers, on top of losing the ability for new comic fans to discover their love and passion for comics. And then they put it to the direct market. They put it on the direct market to create those fans. But then you fill your shelves with adult material. Well, parents aren't going to automatically send their kids blindly into a creepy old comic store with a guy behind the counter who might yell at you for pulling down one of those adult type comics. But, the damage is done. You're in the back looking at it. Whereas if it was at the grocery store, at the I got mine's at CVS, People's Drugs, at the drugstore, is where I found most of my comics. Looking for some Todd McFarlane Spider-Man, discovering some Jim Lee X-Men, and then it was game over. Game over. But it doesn't happen. Can't happen nowadays because it's not in the drugstore. Barely in the bookstore. All they want are the graphic novels. They don't even want the floppies. They don't even want the floppies. Manga's eating our lunch. Patrick Daniel in the house says sorry he's late. No worries, bro. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Rest in peace, Peter David. That's right. I just heard that as I was coming on. I was reading through some articles and saw that that he has passed. Mr. Peter David has passed. He does a writing book that I read that was very, very interesting. I don't think I've actually applied any of the things I read, but I should, because they would make for a better story. But looks great, by the way, James. Thank you, sir. It'll be their cover artist, for goodness sake. Hey, if they're willing, I am able. So I did make the offer, Patrick, that if you want another one, I know that my local comic shop has a plethora of these sketch covers, and they would love me to buy them. And so for $30, you also can have your own Battle Beast. I won't be doing it on a Sunday night draw, but unless I'm really, really out of ideas. But there's so many cool things I'm sure that are going to happen that I'm going to want to do a Superman, and I will be doing a Superman tomorrow on the sketch cover of something called Superman Unlimited. And it looks like kind of a highlight reel of Superman's history, likely in preparation for the movie coming out in July, which I'm excited to see. I know a lot of people have their reservations, and you said that you were whelmed. Remember you saying you were whelmed, Mr. Patrick Daniel? But I can't steer away from videos that talk about it. So I must be excited about it. I assume I'm excited about it because I just want to hear whether it's good, whether it's bad. And I go, it's probably going to be good. It's probably going to be good. So I don't know if it's good or bad that I assume it's going to be good. Because if I set my expectations a little lower, maybe I'll be more... I won't be disappointed. But it looks pretty good to me. Pretty good. Despite what my favorite critics think about it. I think me is excited about it. So I'm just gonna assume I'm gonna like it until I see it with my own eyes, and it's a stinkeroonie. But until then, I believe I will be watching it in the theaters, which I cannot say for any other movie that is coming out that I know of. I'm not a big in the theater guy, just because I don't watch much anyway. and it's hard to get the missus to agree to go with me. So she is not a big movie fan. Let me see. Patrick Daniel says, I'd love to see a He-Man sketch one Sunday night. Maybe. You missed it, but early on I said that I was looking for references for poses and inspiration for this pose. And because I think of this guy as Conan in space with a lion head, I just looked up Conan, and all the poses of Conan reminded me of He-Man. I mean, He-Man was the poor copy of like the Frazetta-ish type of fantasy oil painted artwork kind of stuff, but definitely had the He-Man vibes for sure. So I don't think I would be too far off. And my buddy Riley Brown, I don't know if you guys are fans of Riley Brown. He's doing some He-Man stuff that is being packed in with the new toys. I guess they have a new toy line that's out, and he does a lot of the mini comics, and he was born to do He-Man. I think he's knocking it out of the park. Riley Brown, he did Cable and Deadpool. That was his big break, was some fill-in work for Cable and Deadpool back in the early 2000s, back when none of us had really broken in, and then he got a chance to break in, and we were just a bunch of guys going to comic conventions. It was the Pittsburgh Comic Con where I met him, and he kind of just took off. He did the Batman, what's the video game that everybody plays? Fortnite. Batman Fortnite comic. That's one of his claim to fame, along with all the Deadpool stuff. He's known really as a Deadpool artist, but he's been doing some great He-Man stuff. He posts it on Instagram. I think that's his favorite platform. But maybe I can get him on there, and then we can draw some He-Man. I interviewed Riley when he had a campaign going on Zoop. It was a closeout campaign of sorts, even though it was like the closeout was like a couple of hours after we finished. But my interview with him was going to be the last interview that he did to kind of make a push for supporters, backers on Zoop. I'm looking forward to getting my Thunder Guardian stuff. It's just such a fun comic written by his son. So his son comes up with the stories, and his son is like, I don't know, I think he's 7 or 8 at this point. His son makes the drawing and tells him the story, and then he turns it into a legit comic. And they're so good. He definitely transforms the stories that his son tells him. He records his son. You know, his son will just speak it out loud, and so he has his phone handy, records the story that his son tells him, and goes back and draws the story. And of course, it's so nonsensical in many respects, but it's still It has a lot of funny twists and turns because it's out of the brain of a 7 or 8 year old. So, see, can we? Yeah. So the new movie. Have you guys? I'm sure you guys have seen the pictures that have leaked, quote unquote, leaked out. Any thoughts on the He-Man movie? Any thoughts on the Henry Cavill Voltron movie? I keep seeing an image that they show out there, and I don't know if that's AI generated or if that's an actual image from the Voltron movie with Henry Cavill. Can anybody does anybody know for sure? I mean, it looks cool either way. I'd rather it be legit than some AI generated stuff. Looking nice. It's looking nice. So this is a 3. 3s are 4. More detail stuff. Yeah, we'll just keep going with the 3 just to make sure I get some shorthand of some of the stuff that I'm laying down. Because when I come in with the bigger boy, number 5, number 8 micron, sometimes I forget why I put certain lines down. So gotta get enough of that shorthand in there that I know, that I remember what I'm looking for. So no takers on another Battle Beast for $30. I would probably do it, just not. I would probably do it as a draw stream, but just not as a Sunday, because Sundays are. You shouldn't be subjected to too many of the same things on Sunday, even though it's mostly the same. Just new topics. And I'm happy to talk about anything else. We don't have to stick with comic stuff. We can talk about different YouTube personalities. Is anybody picking up Mark Miller's Vatican City? I know Thinking Critical said he liked it, but John De La Rose says he doesn't like it because it feels like it's incomplete. So any thoughts on some of the current independent comics out there? Let's see if you guys are. Patrick Daniel says, I have high hopes for He-Man. I was a huge fan in the 80s. Yeah, I think even my wife was a huge fan of He-Man in the 80s. She might hang out. She might go to the movies with me to see a He-Man, as long as it's not too cringe. I didn't like that it had a setting like in the modern day America. So I know that He-Man's mom is from Earth, right? Isn't that the story? Part of the story. But, it's probably one of the worst parts of the Masters of the Universe movie, even though I remember liking it when I was young. The Masters of the Universe movie. But it doesn't hold up. Does not hold up. So I hope that them setting it in modern day isn't going to mess things up too much. But like you, I'm hopeful. Hopeful. Looks like the actor guy got really big for it. I mean, he looks huge. Huge. Anything, what else? What else is going on? What else? Parades. Talked about parades. No, nobody's into parades. I walked in a parade last year for the first time. It was actually Memorial Day. Was it Memorial Day? It was Memorial Day. A guy that a friend of mine, was running for judge. And he just needed some warm bodies to pass out candy. And that was fun. Super duper disorganized. Partly my buddy's fault. He didn't know what was going on. He wasn't the best, most organized guy. But anybody ever been in a parade? Wasn't until I was 49 until I got into a parade. I was the candy guy. And somebody came up to me at the end of it and said that I was their favorite candy passer outer guy. I mean, we were giving out good candy, I gotta say. Somebody hooked us up with some good candy. But I was making sure all the moms got all the chocolates. So a mom came up at the end and said I was the favorite. Yeah. J. Scott in the house. What's going on, J. Scott? Happy Sunday to everyone. A little late, but made it. Work's busy. Yeah. Yep. Do you get a day off, J. Scott? I hope you get a day off for Memorial Day, or at least some double pay or something like that. Time and a half. Patrick Daniels says, my daughter has her 10th birthday tomorrow. Going to be a busy day. Oh, it's got to land on Memorial Day every now and again, right? Busy. I marched in a few Christmas parades in middle school and high school. Nice. Band guy, huh? One time at band camp. Whoop, whoop. Was that up here in New York, or did you grow up down south and then your mom just moved up this way for other reasons after you grew up? Did you grow up in Canandaigua? Patrick Daniel? Glad you guys are here and hanging out. I think I'm almost ready for the deeper, darker, the contrast. Let's do it. Let's go for the number 8, because I think he's big enough. We can go a number 8. Go number 8, and then for the real contrast, we'll use a brush pen. So if you guys are interested in tomorrow's Superman, this will be the pose. I'll get on. It won't be as late as it is normally. It'll be sometime in the afternoon, I believe, because we'll do like a proper family cookout, and so I will not be on. But if anybody is interested, $30. You can PayPal me, and I don't know anybody has PayPal me, but whoever gets there first. PayPal is this jamesqartist@gmail.com. If you've ever bought anything from me via the PayPal, you'll be familiar with that. All right. Is this going to do it? Is this a good way to show that it is the shield thing, his chest shield thing is black? Not so bad. Not so bad. What do you think, Patrick Daniel, as an inker? Do you do exercises as like these horizontal rendering lines for cross-hatching? Do you have like pages and pages of parallel lines when you're, so that your muscle memory makes it a little bit more uniform? We're gonna give it some dings and some scratches. All right. I don't even think this 8 is enough. We might just have to go straight on to the brush pen to get any kind of line weight and depth here. All right. It's starting to work. Oh boy, here comes the fireworks. I don't know if you guys are hearing fireworks around where you are, but we were awakened last night. I think it was like 1:30 in the morning. Fireworks. Like, come on, people. I'm just glad I don't have a dog anymore. The dog would just shiver when she heard the fireworks. Shiver, shiver, shiver. So Patrick says, nope, grew up down here in the South. She moved back about 10 years ago. Okay, cool, cool. Jay Scott says, no off day, but triple pay. Hey, that's worth it, I think. That's worth it. Triple pay? That might be an okay deal. I did go back. I did back when I inked analog, the cross-hatching lines. Yeah, lots of practice on tracing paper. I don't warm up so much inking digitally. Probably should. Yeah, you know, I'm sure it wouldn't hurt. Would not hurt. Little couple of reps to get the hand motions going. Get the correct hand motions. Get his frame of his face there. You can get the little helmet shield thing, whatever his head thing is. That's probably the least impressive part of his look is the helmet thing that they have for him. Looks a little out of place, honestly, to the rest of his cool look. But it is what it is. I'm sure there are parts of Alpha Red that people shake their heads about. Speaking of Alpha Red, did you know that issue number 7 is crowdfunding right now over on Fund My Comic? If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It helps spread the word about this independent comic called Alpha Red. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do me a favor and hit that like button. It will invite all kinds of crazy people to show up in the chat and say really cool things. And we can all tell them how cool Alpha Red is. Yeah. I would be very grateful if you guys did that. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. We were at 229. 229, guys. I remember asking for 300. Remember 300? I was asking for 300. Whew. We cruised right to 329. Did the chicken dance and everything. Another chicken dance at 350 maybe. 350. We'll do another chicken dance. Unless that causes people to unsubscribe. Then we'll reconsider. We shall reconsider. So we got all these good lines going. And then once we get some of this energy, I keep forgetting I want the energy. So the line work has to be a little bit faster to get that JC Grande energy. JC Grande is my inker. I believe he's from Mexico. Could be wrong. I asked him if I could pay him in a different way, and he says, my country doesn't accept that. And I was like, okay, so you're not in America. Gotcha. Seems to be okay with my emails in English and all that stuff. I felt bad when I went down to Honduras for my missions trip. I was very unprepared to speak Spanish. I assumed that my translator would be my saving grace, and it did help out a lot, but you got to know some basics. I felt very silly that I didn't know how to say hello, buenos dias, buenas noches, buena, and got to the airport, and the guard just started speaking to me in Spanish, and I said, no español, and he goes, no español, and I go, no, and then he said something else in Spanish, and I was like, sorry, none, and he gave me this look, and I was like, I hung my head, I was like, sorry, I have no idea. But that's American privilege right there. You assume everybody's going to speak English, and for the most part, you're right, because they squeezed out some English. But I felt bad that I did not even try. I mean, I did try, and gave up very quickly on my Espanol. Very quickly. Very quickly. It's coming together, guys. What do you think? Usually I would jump off at 9, but the wife doesn't seem to mind that I finish up, as long as I go downstairs and hang out with her just a little bit before bed. So we'll finish this bad boy up. We will. Looking good. Let me see, what do I want to do there? Okay. Make an X for these little spots where I want it mostly black. Blake. X there so that I don't forget. All right. We are ready to go. We're gonna make all these little marks like he was in tremendous battle. And if I was Ryan Otley, I would make all kinds of blood all over the sword. But we shall not do that. We shall not. We shall not. All right, finishing touches. We'll give it the old zebra ink. I don't know if you can see this. The old zebra ink brush pen. I meant, sorry, ink brush. Brush pen. Gives it that extra line weight. Kapowski. I don't know if you can see how it kind of transforms as you add this brush pen. And I don't think it's going to do as much as I want it to in these really big ink spots. So I'm gonna call in the Fatty McFat, big old fat blacks, Fatty McBlacks. We'll just kind of throw those placeholders in there, and hopefully remember to go back. Bam, bam. Get some energy there. Pure energy. And then that makes it kind of look like it's giving it a shadow there, some shadows. And the wrinkles of the under part there. Make a shadow for the hair that's coming out. Boom, shadow for the hair right there. Coming together nice. Extending some of these bolder lines to make it pop. Making it pop. So maybe He-Man next week, guys? Anybody excited if I announce that next week will be He-Man? Anybody say, no way, Jose? He-Man? I don't think anybody in this crowd would say that's a bad choice, but is there a better choice? Unless you had a bad experience with He-Man. In which case, we would all like to know what happened. But I think He-Man was like Ninja Turtles. You know, it was like a right place, right time. And we all gathered around it. We all rallied around that He-Man. Cringer. Orko. Man of Steel. Teela. Who didn't have a crush on Teela? All right, guys. What do you think? Oh, got a couple of black the fat black here. And then we are going to call it quits. Guys, thank you for hanging out with me on these Sunday night draw streams. I appreciate you being here and encouraging me. Thank you guys for spreading the word about Alpha Red number 7 on Fund My Comic. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't want to overdo it. Of course, I'll noodle with it a little bit afterwards, but really appreciate you guys being here, hanging out, and sharing out the Alpha Red number 7 Kickstarter campaign. can't do it without you guys. And we do need some help, though. I don't want to jump over to Kickstarter, but I might have to kind of get where I need to be to kind of set up for issue number 8, really to finish off strong with issue number 7. I mean, I have the money, but it's I'd rather have a little bit more, to be a little bit more nimble. Things don't always go according to plan. There's a lot of guesswork that goes into shipping costs and things like that. So, I mean, I do have, I have some alternative fundraising things, but you know, you guys buying these sketches and stuff really help out too. It doesn't go to that total, but it definitely goes into the war chest. I try not to buy too many things that I don't need to buy, especially around this time when I'm crowdfunding. I just gotta concentrate on meeting that financial goal there. But that's it. What do you guys think? What do you think? Can we call it done? Dun 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 dun. Let me see if I can level it out. Does that level out a little bit better? Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate you hanging out and hanging out with me every Sunday night to end off the weekend, to begin the work week. We got one more day, so I'll squeeze in at least one more tomorrow. I'll do the Superman, but I'll probably jump on here and do a little bit more of these sketch cards for the freebies, that for those who were Johnny on the spot with helping me out, backing me immediately. So thank you guys for all of this encouragement, and I hope that you have a fantastic Memorial Day. I hope you have family that you can hang out with. Remember the soldiers that have fallen for our freedom. Let's not forget that. It's not just about burgers and barbecues, although that is a great way to add some smiles to your day and to your family. But really, we're celebrating and we're honoring the fallen people who gave it all for our freedom. So I hope you guys think about them, just pray for them. So thanks for hanging out. Let me jump on here just to make sure I didn't, I did maybe. Ooh, okay. Fong says, we'll have people over for a barbecue tomorrow. Awesome, awesome. I don't get to ink as much as I'd like to. There's only one way to fix that, Mr. Daniel. Fong says, do the gangman style dance for $3.50. Well, we'll have to practice that before we launch that on anybody. There's a song I haven't heard in a while. Yeah, Gangnam Style. I like how the left hand is drawn. This one? Yeah, no, it took a couple times, but I figured out here. I figured out like there's an arch to the knuckles, but that is how I figured out how to draw it. Excited, awesome. What I like to know is why the 80s toy lines have so much staying power. I don't know, bro. That's Gen X. We have the coolest stuff. Good night, Mr. Revan Saber. Guys, thank you for hanging out with me. Until next time, grace and peace. We are out. See you guys tomorrow.
Welcome to Alpha Red number 7, The Monster Within. In this issue, an ancient evil has risen, unleashed by a rogue treasure hunter on her latest heist. Now, this powerful executioner walks the earth once more, and only Alpha Red stands between the fallen angel and the annihilation of the other kingdom warriors. As Wingman is haunted by cryptic visions of his forgotten past, he squares off with the Searcher and her celestial enforcer Zadkiel. What dark secrets link the sacred relics to Wingman's dreams? And can Alpha Red stop this vengeful angel before it's too late? Brace yourself for pulse-pounding action, shocking revelations, and supernatural suspense in Alpha Red number 7, a high-octane thrill ride you won't want to miss. This issue can be enjoyed on its own, but there will be tiers where you can pick up the first 6 issues of Alpha Red. If you're new to Alpha Red, it can be summarized like this. In a world unraveling from the inside, Alpha Red emerges as a bold new hero in a time of darkness. Calvin Wes Wesley was just a blue-collar worker until the Kingdom, a secret organization powered by ancient spiritual technology, chose him to be their new champion. With superhuman strength, speed, and wisdom now flowing through him, Wes is thrust into the battle that reaches beyond the physical world into the realm of eternal souls. The enemy, Satan himself, cast into human form, walking among us, immortal, plotting a global apocalypse after being betrayed by his right-hand demon. His identity is hidden, his influence is growing, and only Alpha Red stands between us and damnation. This isn't just a comic, it's a spiritual war dressed in superhero skin. A gripping, high-stakes saga where every punch is powered by purpose and every page crackles with righteous intensity. Created by artist and writer James Q. Nguyen, Alpha Red fuses pulse-pounding action with themes of faith, redemption, and the eternal struggle between good and evil. With stunning artwork and a cinematic story arc built for fans of Spawn, Daredevil, and the Book of Revelation, this is a series that dares to say something deeper, while still kicking it like a 90s style comic. Join the mission. Back the hero. Invest in the legend. Alpha Red isn't just another comic. It's the beginning of something bigger.
From the shadows he rises with courage in his heart, a beacon of hope. He's ready to start with faith as his armor and a fire in his soul. Alpha Red stands tall, fulfilling his role. Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith, he'll always succeed. Fighting darkness, he'll never dread. For the world is safe with Alpha Red. Red. In a world full of chaos, where evil may lurk, he fights for the righteous, his mission and work. Guided by God, with strength from above, he battles the darkness with unyielding love. Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith, he'll always succeed. Fighting darkness, he'll never dread. For the world is safe with Alpha Red. Alpha Red. When the night seems too long and hope seems so far, look to the skies, you'll see his bright star. With a prayer and a promise, he faces the fight. Alpha Red shines through, the beacon of light. Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith,